Brooches are a huge trend at the moment, and today I'm going to be making one. Hello, welcome, my name's Carol. When I did my Trends for 2023 video way back in January, I identified one of the major trends was brooches, and really it hasn't disappointed. I have been seeing them everywhere and I just love brooches. So today we're going to make one. Now I'm doing it with a needle and thread, which if you've watched my channel before, you know that I don't often pull out the needle and thread, but today that's what we're doing. I'm going to walk you step by step through the process of making it, and I will talk about everything you need. So let's get making. This project is based around this 25mm perforated disc. All of the beads are stitched onto this disc. The beads I have here, I've got some 11 by 7mm glass ovals, and these have some gorgeous veining on them. I have some 6mm glass faceted round beads, and I've got some 11O seed beads. These ones are orange with an AB finish and they're silver lined, and these ones are also silver lined, and the colour is ruby. As well as that, I've got a brooch back, and this one measures 26.5mm, so it's just slightly bigger than the disc. We'll also need some beading needles. Now I'm using some collapsible eye needles here. These work really well for this project, not only because they're easy to thread, but also because they're really flexible. I've got some Fireline, and in terms of tools, I'm going to be using some scissors. I'm also needing some glue, so I have some E6000 glue here, and that's all. The top link in the description box below will take you to a blog post, and that will contain links to everything I've used today. So to start off, what we're going to do is thread a needle. I really like these Beadalon needles because they have this nice big hole, and they are very flexible. So you can get them into all those nooks and crannies. I'm going to just take my some Fireline here. And when you buy your Fireline, it comes with this kind of case on it. Make sure you keep it because it keeps everything in check, and it just moves around when you take your Fireline off. So I need quite a long piece just to get me started, but it doesn't matter because you can join it all the way along. I'm just going to thread my needle. And then I'm going to bring my ends together and tie a knot. Now Fireline is quite springy, so just make sure you tie a really good knot, and I'm going to tie another one to make sure that it's nice and firm. Big ugly knot is what I have, and that's okay because you're not going to see it. Now I'm going to trim off my ends, and now I'm going to start stitching. To anchor the Fireline onto the disc, what I'm going to do is go through one of the holes on the second row. I'm going to pull the thread through, but I want to leave a tail, so that is what I have. You can see I'm going through the second row hole there. Then I'm going to bring the needle back up through the next hole around the circle. You can see there my thread is coming up through the next hole. Then I'm going to thread my needle through that tail. And just pull everything up. And that way everything's nice and firm and it's not going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to put my needle back up through one of those holes. To start threading on the beads, I'm going to take one of my ovals and pop that on. Then I'm going to take one of my orange seed beads and pop that on. Then you come back down through the orange oval bead and down through the hole that you came out of. So that's what I have, and on the back you can see my thread is coming out of this hole here. So what I'm going to do next is put my thread into the next hole around the circle. So just threading it through and up through the oval, and it works better. You get less tangles if you put the oval down to the disc before you put your seed bead on. Put on my seed bead and then back down through the oval, not through the seed bead, and back through that same hole in the disc. And that is what I have now. I'm going to continue that all the way around on that second row. So I'm going into all these holes that are the second row in. And this is quite a good project to do while you're sitting in front of the TV, because you don't need to actually focus on it too much, and it takes quite a while to do. So it's a good one for that. And also you don't need many tools. Now I wanted to show you this because this is the biggest mistake you'll make. What I've done here is I've put the thread back down through the disc without putting it back down through the bead. So to undo it, it's quite easy. You just push it back through the same hole that you came up through, and then put it through the bead first. So that's a pretty minor mistake and pretty easy to fix. So this is a really easy project. Now I've been round one time. So if I look at the back, I've gone into every single hole on that second round. And you can see the beads aren't sitting right, but when I put the beads in the center, they will all push out and be sitting in the right space. You can actually push them out a little bit, and it's probably a good idea to do that now because it might loosen the thread a little bit, but basically they will sit out, I promise. Next, what we're going to do is take our thread and our needle and go into the next row, back up into the third row in there. And so I'm going into that hole, and I'm going to take a red bead this time and pop it on there. And I'm putting on a red seed bead. Now the reason I'm using the seed beads is to stop the thread going back down through the hole of the bead, because you need to loop it around something to stop it going back through. Also, it looks attractive. So just doing the same thing, going back into the same hole that you came out of. And it gets more difficult because the other beads are in the way, but you can still do it. So there's my first one, and I'm going to go all the way around on that third row in, just like before. Now don't worry about the back being messy because you're going to cover it up. And if you can't go into all the holes, that's okay too. When you get to a point where you need to change your thread, what you do is you take your needle and you just thread it through one of the pieces of the back, on the back, one of the pieces of thread, like that. And then you just thread your needle back through the loop there and tie it off, and just repeat that so you've got a good knot. And then to start again, you start in exactly the same way. Now I have finished my second round. You can see that quite a lot of the space has been taken up, and even though these beads are sewn right around that circle, they're actually sitting in the middle and not quite as neat as the outside one. But what you can also see is that it has pushed down all those outside beads, and on the back it looks like that. If you're interested in making the jewellery that I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my boho necklace, my pendulum earrings, and the bracelet that I made in the stretch knot bracelet tutorial. I'll leave links to those in the description box below. Now we're going to go ahead and just fill in the space. So I'm going to fill it in, and I'm going to build it up so it's a bit of a dome, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Just keep on going. I know that it's hard to get into all those holes and you won't fill all of them, but do your best. There's my brooch, and as you can see, I just filled in all of the spaces to create a mound in the center. And if I turn it over, you can see that a lot of it isn't very neat and tidy, and I crisscrossed, but that's okay. I just went to fill in all of the spaces so that it kind of built up on the front like this. And just try and finish with that center one there looking right up. If you're enjoying this project and you would like to see more, remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and also give me a thumbs up if you like this one. So next, what I'm going to do is glue my brooch back onto my brooch. Now, it fits really nicely on there, so it's nice and neat. And all I have to do is run a bead of glue around it. Now, I'm not a glue person, and glue always goes wrong for me, but I'm going to try. So I've got my E6000, and I'm just going to run a little bead around the outside. And actually, I'm going to fill it completely, like that. And then I'm going to pop it on And there we go. There's my brooch. There's the back. And I'm just going to leave it to let it dry and put the lid on my glue before it goes everywhere. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It was a little bit of a departure for me because as I said at the beginning, I don't usually use a needle and thread for my jewellery, but I did enjoy making it. I hope you will too. And I'll also leave you a link in the description box to the other brooch tutorial that I did, which I really loved. It was a beautiful brooch. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.